The news hit Manila like a jolt. Elon Musk at a global tech conference named the Philippines as a hub of unseen engineering talent and resilience. Not for cheap labor, but for something deeper. The comment echoed through coffee shops and offices, sparking debate and pride. For years, Filipinos had heard only stories of struggle and disaster. Suddenly, a billionaire who dreams of Mars was talking about their hidden strengths. Was it a fluke, or did he see something real? Online memes and arguments exploded, but a question lingered. What do the world's richest really see in us? Old interviews resurfaced. Bill Gates praising Filipino community spirit after typhoons. Jack Ma admiring the creativity of market vendors. These weren't empty compliments, they were observations from people who built empires by spotting value others missed. They saw a wealth not measured in money, but in spirit and ingenuity. The whispers from these billionaires converged into a single powerful message. The Philippines held a secret the world was just starting to notice. For one young Filipino, that message would spark an unforgettable journey. This is the story of Rafael Cruz, and how he set out to discover what the world's richest saw in his homeland. The journey would challenge his cynicism, and change how he saw his country forever. Sometimes it takes an outsider to help you see what's been right in front of you all along. And for Rafael, everything was about to change. Rafael Cruz, a data analyst from Quezon City, lived by logic and numbers. He loved his country, but frustration clouded his pride. When Musk's comment went viral, Rafael dismissed it as PR spin. His friends agreed, billionaires don't care about resilience, just profits. Yet the phrase unseen engineering talent nagged at him. He thought of his uncle, a brilliant mechanic overlooked by the system. Maybe, just maybe, there was a truth he'd ignored. Curiosity turned into obsession. Rafael decided to investigate. He'd treat it like a project. Find out if Musk, Gates, and Ma saw something real. Was it genuine admiration, or just a misunderstanding? He booked a flight to Davao, where the Gates Foundation had worked for years. Telling friends it was a vacation, he packed his laptop and notebook. As his plane left Manila, he looked down at the islands. Not just as provinces, but as pieces of a puzzle. What were the world's richest seeing that he wasn't? Rafael's journey began not with certainty, but with a single, stubborn question. He was about to find answers that would surprise even himself. Davao greeted Rafael with order and greenery. He skipped tourist spots, heading straight to a modest health center supported by the Gates Foundation. Inside, he found faded paint but vibrant energy, nurses guiding mothers, health workers prepping kits. Veteran nurse Althea explained, the foundation's tech made things efficient, but the real strength was Bayanahan, the Filipino spirit of helping each other. The foundation gives us tools, but the community gives us heart, she said. Rafael followed Lorna, a health worker, on her rounds to remote homes. She was greeted as a friend, not an official, checking on babies, sharing snacks, knowing everyone's story. Her work was more than a job, it was a calling. Bill Gates's words about human cooperation came alive in Lorna's daily ride under the sun. That evening, Rafael realized the foundation's impact was real, but the true engine was the people. Technology was just a booster for a vessel already flying on compassion. Gates wasn't just investing in infrastructure, he was betting on the Filipino spirit. Rafael saw that the world's richest weren't just praising systems, they were recognizing a unique, living strength. In Davao, he found proof. The Philippines' greatest asset was its people, working together against the odds. The lesson was clear: real wealth isn't always measured in money. Sometimes it's measured in lives touched and communities strengthened, and that was just the beginning. In Cebu, Rafael sought the entrepreneurial fire Jack Ma admired. He skipped malls for carbon market, where chaos and creativity thrived. Vendors hustled, inventing ways to make a living with little more than grit. Elena, a vendor, started with a few pesos and a lot of discarte, Filipino resourcefulness. You don't need much money, just a way to make things work, she said. Rafael saw discarte everywhere, a man with a bike-turned-knife sharpener, a student selling homemade accessories. These were micro-entrepreneurs, innovators in their own right. Later, a family-run furniture shop showed him how tradition and creativity built global businesses from humble beginnings. We learn from the old ways, but always think of new designs, the owner said. From street vendors to master craftsmen, the drive to create and improve was everywhere. Jack Ma hadn't just seen a market, he'd seen a nation of innovators. In Cebu, Rafael realized that Filipino entrepreneurship was born from necessity, but powered by relentless creativity. The world's richest saw not poverty, but potential. And so did Rafael for the first time. The spirit of discarte was the country's quiet superpower. Back in Manila, Rafael chased Musk's claim of unseen engineering talent. The Philippines wasn't known for Silicon Valley tech, but he visited a top engineering university. Professors spoke of brilliant graduates, many leaving for better pay abroad. Discouraged, Rafael turned to a growing field animation and game development. At a studio in Ortigas, he met Carla, the manager, and Ben, a lead animator. Ben showed him how they built digital worlds for Hollywood, work demanding both artistry and technical skill. "We're not building rockets, but we're building worlds," Ben said. Carla explained, "Filipinos are artistic, adaptable, and quick to master new tech." The same discarte from the markets powered their digital creativity. Rafael saw it. The engineering talent wasn't just in factories, but in studios, coding and animating for the world. The unseen engineers were shaping the future one pixel at a time. Musk's words made sense now. Filipino ingenuity thrived in unexpected places, quietly powering global innovation. The world's richest weren't imagining things. They were seeing what was real, just hidden. Rafael's skepticism faded, replaced by awe. The talent was here all along, just waiting to be seen. And now he saw it too. In Makati, Rafael explored resilience in the shadow of skyscrapers. Floods hit, and the city adapted. Workers waded through water, vendors sold umbrellas, neighbors helped each other. There was no panic, just practical problem solving and shared laughter. The next day, Rafael saw families cleaning up, men clearing drains, and a woman shrugging off the flood. "We just clean up and start again." This was resilience, not just enduring hardship, but meeting it with action and community. The city's strength wasn't in its towers, but in the people who rebuilt after every storm. Musk was right. Filipino resilience was more than survival. It was cheerful defiance, a refusal to be beaten. In Makati's chaos, Rafael found the country's unbreakable core. The real power was in the people, not the skyline. And that made all the difference. Across his journey, Rafael noticed a pattern, small acts of kindness everywhere. Vendors gave extra fruit, strangers offered directions, a borrowed phone came with no strings attached. He called it the kindness economy, a system where compassion was the currency. When formal systems failed, this network of generosity stepped in. Neighbors watched children, friends lent money, communities pooled resources. This was resilience too, a social safety net woven from trust. It never showed up in economic reports, but it was the country's greatest asset. Billionaires might see it as remarkable, but for Filipinos, it was simply life. Rafael realized this kindness was a survival mechanism, a glue holding society together. While the world chased financial wealth, Filipinos invested in social wealth every day. It was a quiet superpower, hiding in plain sight. And it made the country far richer than anyone realized. As Rafael's journey ended, he sat in a Manila coffee shop, notebook full of stories. He'd started as a skeptic, but now saw the truth behind the billionaire's words. He saw talent in Ben the animator, cooperation in Lorna the health worker, fire in Elena the vendor. The city's flaws remained, but so did its strengths: resilience, creativity, kindness. His perspective had shifted. He'd been blind to the masterpiece painted on the country's cracked walls. Outsiders had seen the treasures he'd missed. The Philippines' greatest assets weren't beaches or resources, but its people. Rafael saw himself differently too. The cynic was gone, replaced by pride and connection. He understood now, the nation's wealth couldn't be exported, only experienced. Sometimes you need to see home through new eyes to truly appreciate it, and for Rafael that changed everything. The real treasure was always there, he just needed to look. On his last day, Rafael took a bus home, watching the country unfold. He saw farmers sharing lunch, kids playing basketball, families making do with what they had. A young man helped an elderly woman open her. Another kindness, another quiet grace. This, Rafael realized, was the real Philippines, not in headlines but in everyday moments. At home, his mother's hug and a favorite meal brought peace. He'd set out to learn what billionaires saw but found something greater, his own faith in his country. The Philippines was a nation of paradoxes, chaos and community, hardship and hope. Its strength was in resilience, creativity, and kindness. The secret wasn't hidden, it was the nation's heart, beating strong for all to see. For the first time in a long time, Rafael saw it clearly, and he knew he'd never look at his homeland the same way again.